I'm pumped to finally be talking about the jigsaw collecting, backpack wielding reptile? That's right, we're heading on over to original PlayStation territory today, talking about Croc, Legend of Gobbos, not really sure. Argonaut Games was gracious enough to send me their recently released Platinum Edition of the remake of Croc, so my brain was swirling with ideas of what to do and what content to make, so much so that I made a community post and asked what people would want, a mysteries video or an in-depth look at Croc's development. A comment I received quite a bit was, why not both? So you know what? That's exactly what we're gonna do. As I'm playing through the game, I felt it more timely to leave the development video for a later date. But that doesn't stop me from contemplating things about this game, and since it's been a minute anyway since my last mysteries video, my name is Jiggylookback, and this is the Mysteries of Croc, Legend of the Gobbos. Uglius Meanius. I remember vividly as a child seeing a commercial for Croc as a platformer collectathon lover in the 90s, and let's be real, still today, this commercial really made me want to play it. This desire didn't stop my child brain from being freaked out by Uglius Meanius, or more commonly known as Baron Dante. I think this commercial played before Home Alone 3, which meant I watched it a ton at my grandparents' house. I could skip over the other commercials, but with Croc, I was watching it. The Baron himself is a very interesting character. As a kid, I always thought there would be some connection with him and Croc since they both were green and appeared to be reptile-like. But there's no connection, and the Baron is a part of a species called Dentinis. This species appears throughout the game through his little minions in levels. I'm unsure though if this is the natural species or if he himself created it due to him altering normal creatures into his own monster army using magic. Could he have once been small like the others and then used magic to get stronger? I think there's probably some truth to that. One thing I've noticed is that Croc randomly grows one day out of nowhere. It's possible some creatures who exhibit a connection to magic can randomly evolve like this, at least in this world. Who's to say it didn't happen to Dante? In Croc 2, we can actually see other Dentinis who are bigger as well, so it must be based on magical ability. And fun fact, Dentinis are known for their wonderful singing voices. How do the crystals work? They seem to be magical in nature. We have the white crystals as standard collectibles with the special crystals being colored. Why is it some of these colored crystals are hidden as normal crystals? It could be Dante manipulating their appearance, but regardless, these crystals hold the power to open these specific crystal doors. Every level seems to have its own set of colored crystals, making them somewhat plentiful in the land Croc explores. They're rare in the sense as they aren't as common as the base crystals, but they certainly aren't as plentiful. We know the base crystals are infused with either life energy or more likely defensive or protective magic. While the colored crystals do not offer protection to you, they do for the doors. I don't believe there's a being who makes base crystals into special colors, but rather they're completely separate and they have the two distinctions of white crystals protecting whoever holds them in their vicinity and essentially take the damage for you, which is why enemies are typically defeated in one hit and aren't shown to have crystals. It definitely is geared toward organic life though, as opposed to objects. While colored crystals seal and protect inorganic objects they last touched, and the only way to undo the protection is to touch it again with the crystals. And based on the endgame, we can see that the crystals grow naturally in the land, so it's just how they are. Dante's family. We don't know too much about the history of Baron Dante. We don't even know why he hates the Gobbos so much. He's a king. He's got tons of loyal subjects and magical powers. But it seems he just wants to cause chaos. For a very brief, tiny little bit, however, as we approach the Baron's chambers in his castle, we can see two pictures. One of a female-looking Baron. This could either be his grandmother or mother, I'm assuming mother, and the other picture has 3 Dentinis. I originally suspected this is a childhood picture of Dante with his siblings. They could be friends, but I'm gonna go with the sibling narrative due to the specific reason I believe Dante's in the picture, which is due to the particular mohawk they all have. Dentinis didn't seem to have that, but upon closer inspection, it is shown in the texture under the female picture. It reads, Mrs. D, presumably Dante. It still could be his mother, but it looks like it could also be his wife. Maybe these are his children. Regardless, this is somehow his family, and notice no picture of his father, presumably the previous king. Or perhaps the previous stained glass windows we see aren't of Baron Dante, but are his father. There's a lot to speculate here. Perhaps one of the most mysterious characters in the game, the Secret Sentinel is a crystal guardian who resembles Baron Dante with a few differences, like having 3 spikes on his head versus a mohawk. He's invulnerable and can only be defeated by hitting the Beany Gongs. I like to think his crystalline structure is affected by the sonic vibrations coming from the gongs when they get loud enough, which is why you need to hit all 4 of them and get them ringing at the same time for maximum sonic overdrive. The question is, why does the Guardian look like the Baron? Since the Baron is confirmed to have been sent to another dimension after his defeat, it's likely he's using his magic and the power of the crystals to substitute himself into a new body to try and resurrect his other. It does appear that these are possibly connected because, as a popular theory points out, after you defeat the Baron, Croc takes one of the crystals away. And in the second game, the Baron returns with an eye patch. Could that crystal have held the essence of his eye and he didn't get it back? It's possible. Beany Gongs. Our pal Beany is a magical bird. She's the one who whisks Croc away to safety when the Dentinis come and capture all the Gobbos. Her magic actually has the ability to shrink things down, and she carries them away. She can be summoned by those gongs placed throughout the land. I mean, they're literally everywhere. One could assume the Gobbos build them and place them in places to summon her, as they have a friendship, according to the manual. A gong to summon Beany existed in the middle of their village, after all. As we progress, we also see the gongs aren't as plentiful in later levels, though they do exist. Which would make sense as the Gobbos didn't venture out into enemy territory with the Dentinis invading, but perhaps they exist in the castle because they were made after they had been captured. Or, the Baron's goons took some they found and stored them there. It's plausible to believe that the Gobbos are the ones, in fact, who made and placed the gongs, which means that they've traveled to the special crystal area and placed the gongs by the Sentinel. Could they have been attempting to stop the use of the crystals in this way? Aware of their powers and abilities? Dante's glove. You may have noticed one small detail about the Baron, the fact that he wears a glove. It's blue in the game, but evidently it's made of iron. One could not give it much thought and chalk it up to an accessory. However, the importance he seems to place on this particular item seems to imply there is more meaning behind it. Some sort of relic passed down between the royal family? It has to have some sort of importance due to him highlighting it in his castle windows. I mean, the 3 things on his stained glass windows are him, his glove, and this pair of eyes. I'm not sure what that is either. Could the 2 be connected? Looking at all the enemies and characters in Croc, nothing seems to quite match up with this image. So, 2 mysteries in one. But focusing on the glove, it must mean something to Dante for some reason. So I'm gonna have to run with the family heirloom, and it also offers some protection so he can use his brute strength in battle. We do know it doesn't really give him any magical abilities or boost, as when he shoots magic at us in the fight, he's actually using his other hand. Tower of Power Monster. There are a lot of strange creatures in Croc, including many monsters. We have Grim Reapers, mummies, giant bees, even strange immortal creatures moving at hyperspeed. One creature stands above the rest as the most mysterious in my book. Aside from the previously mentioned secret sentinel, the yellow zombie-looking prisoner in the level Tower of Power. We encounter him after we drop down into the tower. His legs are bound together in iron, and he stands in place swiping at us as we try to hit the switches in front of him. It's the only level this creature can be found, and the only instance of him. If it was just another monster, I'd understand, but the Baron has this thing bound and imprisoned here, which means he isn't an ally. Chaos seems to be like the Baron's thing, which begs the question, what unspeakable horrors could this monster have done to make the Baron lock it away and throw away the key? It appears to be at least some type of Dentini. Perhaps it went crazy and did something unspeakable, like being a cannibal? It seems to want to attack and eat anything by it. Croc's backpack. Talking about backpack-wielding platformer protagonists is sort of my thing, and Croc's no exception. His backpack, while having the normal uses of stuffing stuffy into it, also seems to have a magical ability. Just like Beany, it can shrink things down to fit lots of stuff inside. It literally holds all of the Gobbos which were captured. Croc originally gets the backpack as Dante is invading. He picks it up off the ground by Beany's gong. And funny enough, being next to Beany's gong, Beany does have the same ability as the backpack. Maybe Croc's backpack is infused with Beany's magic. The Gobbos somehow found a way to infuse it into the materials and gave it the properties and abilities that it has. Otherwise, Croc can really cram it all in there. But if you look closely, it does appear things shrink down into the pack as you collect them, so it's definitely magic. Now the question is, whose backpack is better, Banjo or Croc's? Go watch my video analyzing the power of Banjo's backpack and form your own opinion. Well, that's all I have for you. Please drop a like to help spread my content and subscribe so you don't miss a future upload. But before I go, I want to leave you with one more mystery. Who made all this Jell-o and put it around the game? Is that even Jell-o? Until next time, have a good one.